everything's right on time. Everything's moving so smoothly. We're all fed. We're happy. We're dressed. No one's missing any belts or socks.
That's a great point, though, about feeding. Make sure you eat lunch on that pre-ceremony timeline. Yeah. Don't forget to feed yourselves and those you love who are hanging out with you.
Yeah, this is shocking to everyone. I forgot to feed myself.
What?
And you were sending food to me.
That sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Actually, we're still doing that 8 years
Pretty
later.
Much, exactly. Not much has changed.
No, it has not. All right, so next topic. As far as like the ceremony itself is concerned, how much time should you allow for the ceremony?
So it depends if you're in a house of worship or if you're getting married, in a non-religious ceremony.
Say a park.
Yeah. Or it could be a religious ceremony in a park or something like that. So typically, Catholic ceremonies are going to be your longest. They're going to be anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on your particular service. If you're doing a full mass, how many people you have. And then, your more, other religious ceremonies in a church are typically more like 30 to 40 minutes. Again, it depends on if you're doing readings, communion, other ceremonies, unity ceremonies, or things like that. If you're in a venue, typically you want a little bit of a shorter ceremony because you're not getting married in a church. So that might have been one of the reasons you picked not being married in a house of worship. For those, I would still kind of allot 30 minutes, but I would assume your ceremony is going to take closer to 15 to 20 minutes, depending on what you have in there, plus recessional and processional timing.
So that was my next question, is how long does the processional and recessional usually take?
It really depends on how many people you have, which makes sense.
And if they're
right?
huggers.
For the recessional, yeah. Yeah, how many of them are going to try to get your attention? The best thing to do is after...
I think 90% of them.
I would say probably more like 100.
Oh. Well,
but once you recess...
That cousin's already seen you the first look.
That's right.
You're right.
I would say once you recess, though, you're going to try to kind of hide out somewhere. That way you don't have to hug everybody, and everyone can just kind of go on to cocktail hour and you can see them later. But for the processional, you really have to keep in mind how many bridal party members you have. Are they all walking down the aisle, single file, or are they coming out together? How many parents do you have? How many grandparents do you have? With grandparents, are they walking a little slower? So those are things to keep in mind. The processional could take anywhere from probably, 3 minutes if it's just, a bridesmaid or two and the bride, to 7 to 10 minutes, depending on how many family members you're walking down. So that can add up, especially depending how long your ceremony is.
And has anyone ever done something similar to coming out of the tunnel at Bank of America Stadium? Serper leading you out, smoke machine. That would add some extra time, I would think.
It would definitely add some extra time. It would also be very interesting.
Interesting. Okay, so interesting, guys, if you don't know, means we're going to put a pin in it.
Yeah, it does.
Fun fact. So after the ceremony ends, what do you need to consider before the reception starts?
So you're going to most likely do family pictures after the reception ends. Even if you've done immediate family pictures because you did a first look beforehand, you're still going to usually do your extended family pictures, your kind of formal photos after the ceremony, either on site where, you were kind of in your venue space, or on the altar if you're at a house of worship, somewhere nearby because you're going to have a big group that you have to move. But those can take a while, anywhere from 2 to 8 minutes per photo, depending on how many people. So if you're including, 30 or 40 people, it's going to take a while because you have to round all those people up, get them all together, get them all in place, get them to all look at the camera.
Right. To focus.
Yeah. So, those big family photos can really eat into your time, especially if you're planning to only, you're not doing a first look. And so now during your cocktail hour, you have to get in family photos, bridal party photos, and pictures with the two of you. You want to kind of keep that family list small, so that it's not eating into all of your time for your pictures of the two of you, which are going to be the ones you guys are going to end up framing on the wall, right? So you have to think about that as well. And then you also have to think about travel time. So if you are getting married somewhere not at the same place as your reception venue, and let's say it's a church and it's your family church and it's a 30-45 minute drive. Yes, your guests have to drive that, but also so do you. So you have to keep that in mind. It's not like you have an extra 30 or 45 minutes to take pictures. So that's something to keep in mind when you're putting together that timeline.